On diet doctors inside and out. Hooked on healthy foods, the dangers of extreme diets.
I felt like my whole body started to fall apart, to be honest with you.
Fat and infertile. Could your weight be affecting your chances of having a baby?
We tried for over 8 years. I was too fat.
And can the diet doctors team help turn this 36-year-old into a yummy mummy? Meet the diet doctors, Harley Street practitioner Dr. Samina Shogi.
Don't wait for things to get critical. Make those changes now.
No-nonsense nutritionist Pam Stepney.
A good diet can't prevent every illness, but it can prevent an awful lot of them.
And registered and international rugby chiropractor Dr. Ben King.
The human body is incredibly forgiving. Give it a chance to heal itself, and it'll usually do so.
Together, they tackle some of Britain's most disillusioned dieters. And they've got just 12 weeks to turn their lives around. Tonight, the diet doctors take on 36-year-old Dominique Williams, who weighs 13 stone.
I think somebody looking in on my life would probably say that I have got the perfect life. A nice house, nice cars, children, all that side of things. But, you know, inside, I'm not as happy as I know I could be. The time I was last happiest with my weight would have been before I got married. The turning point was probably having the children. I put on weight, obviously, during pregnancy, and I didn't actually make a great deal of effort to lose it.
The extra weight has led to a more worrying condition.
Last year, I actually had a scan, and the doctor said I had gallstones. I know they can be incredibly painful, but I don't suffer anything at this stage. But my consultant said to me, really what you need to start doing is losing some weight.
She also suffers with painful varicose veins, known to be exacerbated by weight. But there's one more condition in her catalogue of medical problems that Dominique is desperate to beat.
I've had psoriasis since I was about age 16. I have bits of it all over my body, little patches. I'm very conscious about putting something on, like short sleeve t-shirts or shorts or skirts or whatever. You know, I can't kind of keep going on like this, being unhappy. Perhaps, unfortunately, I do tend to take that out on my husband a little bit. And his favourite phrase is he would like his wife back. That's what he says.
To help Dominique reclaim her health and self-esteem, Dr. Samina Shogi and nutritionist Pam Stepney examine the evidence revealed by her body.
This is Dominique 12 years ago. Doesn't she look fantastic? Really sexy.
She looks great. Nice red nails, sexy legs, and she looks raring to go.
No. Okay, so this is Dominique's tongue now. It looks really quite coated through the top here, doesn't it? Not just white.
No, it is quite coated. This could be due to imbalance of flora, bacteria in the gut. So her diet could be linked to this as well.
Weaknesses would be things like cakes, biscuits. If the children come home from parties with their party bags, if they don't want their cake, I'll have it. I don't have a lot of willpower.
Now, this is a really horrible tongue.
You won't be surprised to hear that that is called black hairy tongue. It's not hair, it's the hyphae of the mold Aspergillus niger, which is another type of infection like the fungus here. Very simply treated with either lozenges after meals or mouthwashes after meals as well. And clearly, if there is a problem in the gut, that needs to be sorted out too.
Okay, now Dominique's got this really, looks quite sore skin condition.
Yes, that does look very sore. This could be psoriasis. It could also be a type of eczema, and I probably need to have a closer look at that and to talk to her to see what that actually was.
I remember one time I went on holiday and was lying on a beach, and someone came up to me and said, you know, God, you've been bitten really badly. You know, I know a lot of people have it a lot worse than me. It's just irritating to have it. It'd be nice to have clear skin.
Here we have a much, I mean, this looks extremely painful, doesn't it?
This is psoriasis because we have the classic distribution of psoriasis here on the extensor parts of the elbow, unlike with eczema, which tends to be on the inner part. And this is thick and scaly and really sore and really itchy. And this then could be something called guttate psoriasis, which is a different form of psoriasis. And
That could
it looks
be that,
really
yeah.
similar to this.
This is Dominique now. In 12 years, that's quite a big difference.
You know, I'm still young. I've got lots of time ahead of me to enjoy things, to go and get dressed up. I have occasions to go out to, and I'd like to look and feel my best.
So, by looking at the photos, the diet doctors suspect that Dominique's coated tongue could be due to an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria in her gut, and that the uncomfortable and unsightly patches on her skin could be caused by psoriasis or eczema. But in order to confirm their diagnosis, Dr. Samina Shoghi conducts a thorough medical examination, including a full blood analysis.
Now, I know that you've got gallstones, which you said were just incidentally found from a routine test.
That's
and then you
right.
had the scan, and you're not getting any pain in
No,
this part of your
I'm
tummy.
not.
Perfect. One of the photos we saw earlier showed some really sore patches under your breast. Now, are they still there?
Yes, they are.
Oh, gosh, look.
But some days it's worse than others.
They look very, very sore.
I know, they pop up all the time in different areas, and I never know where it's going to pop up. It's really weird.
And any family history of any psoriasis?
Yeah, my dad has psoriasis too, but he has the more traditional one on the elbows and knees.
Right. Can I just have
It's
a look?
probably worse on this
Okay,
one,
you've
I
got
think.
those too.
Yes, and that's more recent.
Psoriasis is a problem believed to be caused by the immune system not working properly, making the white cells in our blood attack healthy skin. This triggers a healing process that leads to a build-up of dead, scaly skin, particularly on the elbows, knees and scalp.
You said that your husband's very keen for you to get...
Yeah, to get back to the wife he once knew, I think. Yeah, the wife of 10 years ago, probably. That would be fantastic, yeah.
You don't look as if you've put on a huge amount of weight, but probably just a couple of dress sizes.
That's right, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I guess I was always around about a size 12, and I'm a size 16 now.
So you'd like to be a size 12?
It'd be lovely, yeah.
Like many women, Dominique's weight has crept up almost imperceptibly over the years. But now she's at crisis point. Her self-esteem is at an all-time low.
So what's your motivation?
When I grew up, I always remember my mum being very slim and being very proud of her, and I would like my daughter to feel that way. I'm not very disciplined. I'm not very good at following something through, and I kind of give up a bit too easily, I think. You know, do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes.
After the break, Dominique finally gets to face the diet that's wrecked her figure.
Your metabolic age has been worked out to be 51.
And how, for one woman, too much of a good thing was almost her undoing. Still to come, how being overweight could seriously jeopardise your chances of getting pregnant.
We tried for over 8 years. I was too fat.
But first, we catch up with Dominique Williams, who, like nearly half the female population, is a size 16. In 10 years, and after having 2 kids, her weight has crept up from a trim 10 stone to a plump 13 stone. Her health has been hit hard. She suffers with chronic psoriasis, varicose veins, gallstones, and as a result, low self-esteem.
I was last happiest with my weight before I got married.
Following a full medical examination from Dr. Samina Shoghi, it's the turn of nutritionist Pam Stepney to deliver some hard home truths. Pam has asked Dominique to keep a 7-day food diary. It's revealed some surprising results.
To stay the same weight you are now, you only need to eat 2,100 calories a day. And you're currently overeating by 300 calories a day. That equates to a weight gain of over ½ a pound a week. Over a year, that would equate to 2 stone.
Dominique is 5 feet 4 inches tall and currently weighs 13 stone. An ideal weight for a woman of Dominique's build is between 7 stone 10 and 10 stone 5.
Your body mass index has
Yeah.
been worked out. It's 31,
Yeah, I thought it would be
which is just within obese. I mean, looking at you, I wouldn't have classed you as obese, but you're just within at the moment.
40% of her body mass is fat. For a woman of her age, it should be less than a third. and for good reason. Too much body fat has been linked to raised blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, strokes, heart disease, and even some cancers.
Now, you're not going to like this one. Your metabolic age has been worked out to be 51. And you're currently?
36.
This means she has prematurely aged her body by 15 years.
It's really important that we stop this now.
Yeah.
But Dominique must change more than just her diet to turn back the clock. Chiropractor Dr. Ben King wants her working out hard to burn off the fat. But he must first rule out any structural problems she may have to ensure she exercises safely.
So this will be a small impulse like so. You might hear a clicking noise. Okay, Dominique, having looked at all your tests and felt along your spine and looked at your movement, there really is nothing that's going to stop you getting really stuck into your exercise.
6% of infertility is purely due to weight. With an increasing number of men and women spending thousands of pounds on fertility treatment, it seems a great deal of heartache and money could be saved just by losing those extra pounds.
We tried for over 8 years, spent thousands of pounds. And when it comes down to just basics, I was too fat.
Growing up in her native Denmark, Monica Martensen had always struggled with her weight. But as an adult with a busy social life and happy marriage, she took little notice. To Monica, only one thing was missing.
About a year and a half after we got married, we want to have a baby to actually complete the picture.
But try as they might, Monica and her husband just couldn't conceive.
Fertility is all about balance. It's about having the correct proportions of the hormones in order to fuel a pregnancy.
And this balance can be disrupted by fat in the body. Body fat acts like a sponge. It absorbs estrogen from the bloodstream, which fools the body into producing more estrogen from the ovaries. In addition, the body also produces estrogen itself. All these factors result in accumulation of estrogen, which can affect fertility.
70% of couples, if they regulate their body weight, will conceive if they are actually the right weight. I believe that people do underestimate the role of diet and lifestyle in terms of infertility.
Instead of tackling her weight to help her conceive, Monica tried costly and invasive fertility treatment.
We didn't think about the cost of it. It was just like, oh, this is just something we have to do.
But after repeated failures, the couple decided to stop trying. Over the next 5 years, Monica's weight increased to over 22 stone.
I was getting heavier, I was having problems breathing, walking, high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Health risks aside, Monica still wanted a baby, and to do this, she had to lose weight.
We'll lose the weight, get healthier, and then we'll see if by any chance, maybe that could get us pregnant as well.
Desperate to get in shape, Monica underwent drastic weight loss surgery. It was a success, and she decided to undergo fertility treatment one last time.
This was kind of our last chance of actually having a baby. Our lottery ticket in a way.
But just 2 weeks before the appointment, Monica noticed a change.
One day I stepped out of the bath. I thought, I just want to look. I want to see where's my body. It's a girly thing. And a bump shows. I thought, that's not Monica's body. That's not me. I don't have a bump. People don't have a bump like that. So I went to Tesco, bought a fertility pregnancy test, took it home, peed on it like I should, put it in the kitchen. Forgot all about it for 3 hours. Because it was not in my mind that I could possibly be pregnant. Went out there, there's 2 lines. I'm pregnant. I thought, oh, it's got to be a mistake. Took another one. No, 2 lines again. And it was just amazing. It was just amazing. For us, it was a miracle.
After 9 years of trying, it was losing weight that finally gave Monica and her husband the child they'd always longed for.
I feel stupid, I feel ignorant, and I'm not ignorant. I just didn't make the connection.
Back at the clinic, Dominique's blood test results are in. they reveal certain nutritional deficiencies, including low selenium, omega-3, zinc, and vitamin B, all nutrients essential to help her psoriasis and gallstones. So the diet doctors have quickly built up a picture of the state of Dominique's health. Now it's time to discuss how best to help her.
So she's got 2 asymptomatic conditions, and with her varicose veins, weight loss is going to help them. I think she's going to have to face up to having the operation, but with her gallstones, if she doesn't change her diet, they could well become symptomatic, and then she could have to go in as an acute case and have the gallbladder removed.
She has at the moment double the amount of saturated fat in her diet that a woman of her age should. And she was also low in selenium and zinc. Now, zinc is really needed for skin repair.
The psoriasis is an expression of her unhealthy living, or it's made a lot worse by that.
I think she was horrified when you said that her age was 51. And, you know, I'm sure she'd love to be a yummy mummy. You know, it happens to so many women. She's had a very active job, she gets married, she has children, her lifestyle changes, her husband's working very hard, he's not home any time in the evening, and she just picks.
The way forward starts with rethinking what Dominique's eating. The diet doctors have laid out everything she's consumed over the last 7 days, so she can see for herself where she's been going wrong.
What are your first impressions?
There's not an awful lot of vegetables, is there? That's obviously missing.
A lot of the foods you're eating here are quite inflammatory foods.
Right.
Psoriasis is an inflammatory condition. Saturated fats, caffeine, sugar. These foods are all contributing, I think, towards your psoriasis.
In fact, Dominique is eating 43 grams of saturated fat every day, over double the recommended daily amount.
Apart from the obvious heart disease risk with increased saturated fats, for you, because you've got these gallstones, which at the moment aren't causing you any problems, if you carry on with a high-fat diet, they could increase in size, you could get an acute gallbladder and need to be rushed into hospital to have it removed.
I know people who've had that happen. I know it's not pleasant.
I'm all for having a box of chocolates on Valentine's Day or having a piece of birthday cake when it's your birthday, but you're doing it because you're feeling tired and you're feeling tired because the diet's not right, and you haven't got the nutrients to be able to get energy. You're very low in B vitamins. Now, B vitamins are really needed to create energy in the body, and you're really low
Really low on that.
Really low.
Okay. And all of that can come from diet?
All of the things in your body come from diet, absolutely.
Hopefully the message has hit home and the diet doctor's shock tactics will save Dominique from unnecessary surgery. To prevent the further build-up of gallstones, it's out with saturated fats and refined carbohydrates such as white bread, cakes and low-fibre cereals. And it's in with plenty of fresh vegetables and whole grains, which will keep her cholesterol level in check. For her psoriasis, she must avoid red meat, caffeine, alcohol and fatty foods, including chocolate, and increase the anti-inflammatory foods, such as natural BioLive yogurt, kiwis, green leafy vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids found in oily fish and seeds, and plenty of berries rich in antioxidants. And she'll take supplements, bioacidophilus to balance gut flora, L-glutamine to reduce sugar cravings, and fish oil, which combined with vitamin D cream will help repair her damaged skin. With Dominique on the road to recovery, it's time for the diet doctors to look at body signals, the signs your body could be sending you. Tonight, it's the nervous system, which receives information, makes decisions, and coordinates all the activities of the body.
Now, most people will know or seen somebody who's got this, which is a classic case of shingles. And what that rash looks like close up is this. All these tiny little blisters, little vesicles, that some are crusty and some are quite fluid filled. This is what we call herpes zoster. And varicella zoster is a virus that gives us all chickenpox, and you can only ever have chickenpox once. After you've had chickenpox, the virus lays dormant in the spinal cord, and Some people never see it again, but when you're stressed, if your immune system's a little bit impaired, the virus gets reactivated and causes shingles. It can affect anywhere that the nerve supplies on your skin.
Well, some people believe the nerve is activated by an amino acid called arginine. The advice is to try and keep nuts and chocolate out of your diet while you're having an attack like that, and also to increase things like chicken and cheese, because that's supposed to inhibit the virus.
Now, another example of zoster is this. It looks like what we call ophthalmic shingles, and typically if you see a blister on the tip of your nose, there's a very high chance that you will then develop an involvement of the eye. And the worry with this is it can affect the cornea, and you can get the same blisters on your eye that can lead to blindness if it's not picked up and treated. This is an example of a painless peripheral nerve injury, where this person has most likely had long-term diabetes, it's poorly controlled, the nerves have been affected, so essentially there's no sensation.
Poorly controlled diabetes, where the blood sugar is just too high and it's damaging the nerve cells, isn't it? Yeah. And the nerves really need good nutrition for them to work properly.
They do. I mean, diet isn't going to stop you having any of these conditions, but it's so important in terms of recovery.
"36-year-old Dominique Williams is suffering from psoriasis, varicose veins and gallstones, as well as being obese. She came to the diet doctors for help, but after being given a full examination, diet plan and exercise regime, she left uncertain that she could regain her health.
I can't imagine myself cutting out all tea and coffee, cutting out all sugar, cutting out every processed meal. I can't imagine going from where I am now to the perfect diet.
Despite her fears, she began seeing results almost immediately, quickly losing 7 pounds. But just when things started to look up, a family holiday put her in the heart of temptation, America. Recent research has shown 1/3 of the American diet is junk food and soft drinks, disaster for her weight loss and gallbladder.
I've been on holiday now here in America for about 2 weeks. Since I've been out here, I've tried to eat mainly chicken and fish, but it has been really hard because the portion sizes here in America are absolutely huge.
Keen to keep track of her progress, the diet doctors asked her to keep a food journal and send it back at regular intervals. The results were hugely disappointing.
If you look here, this is her mid-morning snack.
Ginger snap biscuit with a few opal fruit sweets.
With a few spoons of lemonade sorbet afterwards.
45 minutes later.
I have had a few slip-ups, gone to some Italian restaurants for instance, and they've had tiramisu or chocolate pudding. Can't quite resist that. Also, I have had some ice cream.
If she manages to keep the 7 pounds off in America, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, actually, that's very true. Yeah.
Because that sort of Chinese takeaway with beef Szechuan and boiled rice with sweet sour chicken sounds like a whole day's worth of calories right there.
Absolutely.
After the break, the true damage of Dominique's holiday diet is revealed.
You've not lost any weight.
It's time for the diet doctors to get tough. Still to come, when healthy eating becomes a dangerous obsession.
I felt like my whole body started to fall apart, to be honest with you.
And why we're still getting hoodwinked by food labelling.
So that's got 20 grams of sugar in, 5 teaspoons of sugar
That is a lot.
But first, we catch up with tonight's patient. 36-year-old wannabe yummy mummy Dominique Williams, who was suffering from psoriasis, varicose veins and gallstones, as well as being obese. Since leaving the clinic, Dominique has lost an amazing 7 pounds, but her resolve was soon to be tested as she headed off on a 2-week holiday to the land of the supersized portion, America.
It has been really hard because the portion sizes here in America are absolutely huge.
She sent back food diaries, which the diet doctors analysed. The results were disappointing.
Beef Szechuan and boiled rice with sweet sour chicken sounds like a whole day's worth of calories right there.
Immediately upon her return, she was asked back into the clinic to see what damage she had done and if there was any way to get her back on track.
You've not lost any weight since we last spoke 2 weeks ago.
Right, okay.
I think we've got quite a tangible reason for that. As I said, you sent through your diet diaries to me. Now, I picked out one particular day of your holiday. Your mid-morning snack was ginger biscuits
Yeah,
with chewy sweets.
yeah.
Followed by a noon snack of frozen lemonade sorbet.
Right.
Okay. And then we had lunch with chocolate whiskey trifle, and then a little snack mid-afternoon of a cookie and two cheese.
Sounds a bad day.
Yes. And then followed by another snack of a mini chocolate bar. And then to top off the whole day, a Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
Okay.
Looking at your steps, 8 of the 21 days, you did more than 10,000 steps, which is what Ben had set you to do. But the rest of the days, you hadn't
No.
quite reached that. So again, the whole sort of concept of, input, output, and the difference between those two giving you the weight loss,
Yeah.
it's not quite worked.
No.
Actually, on the day you do your exercise, you have a great day.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
the
That
next
is true.
day,
Yeah.
you sort of think, right, I deserve a
Yeah.
treat today.
Yeah, I probably
Is
am.
that how you?
I probably am a bit
I mean,
like
I
that,
don't know
yeah.
if you're consciously
Yeah.
thinking that.
I noticed that.
Do you think you're using food a bit as comfort?
As a reward, I think. It might be a bit of
Reward.
a reward. Yeah, it might be.
I think you just got to take a little bit more discipline on board.
Yes.
The team are concerned that Dominique's willpower isn't strong enough. It's time for shock tactics. Dominique's fair, fat, and almost 40, a classic candidate for gallstones. Pam and Samina have doctored a pig's gallbladder to show the life-threatening effects gallstones can have.
Oh, that's disgusting.
If you have a high cholesterol diet, as well as blocking the arteries, the cholesterol can also harden in the gallbladder to form small, hard lumps, or gallstones.
What do you feel?
Like pebbles.
Now, if that big stone gets stuck in the neck, the bile can't get out and you get what's called biliary colic. And this is when you can get excruciating colicky pain here. The next thing that can happen is you get an infection that builds up in the gallbladder, and then you can become unwell, you can get a fever, you can get septicemia, you need antibiotics. And what do you think the worst thing that could happen is?
Explodes.
Well, yeah. This is all the infected pussy fluid, and all that will spill out into your abdomen if it were to perforate, and that can cause peritonitis, which is life-threatening.
Women are twice as likely to develop gallstones as men, especially if they're over 40, have had children, are overweight, or if there's a family history of the condition.
What should I do now I have gallstones?
They will not go away, but by eating a healthy diet, reducing the cholesterol, they're not going to get bigger.
As far as the diet goes, that means making sure that the saturated fats are low, making sure the fiber's really high, and making sure you haven't got lots of refined carbohydrates like the little mini sweets.
Most of us want to eat more healthily, but for one woman, eating healthily became a dangerous obsession.
I wasn't getting enough protein to help to feed my organs. I felt like my whole body started to fall apart, to be honest with you.
Pippa Gallia is a recovering orthorexic, an eating disorder where the sufferer is obsessed not with weight, but health.
How can I detox? How can I get more toxins out of my body? And it just took my life over, basically.
A lifetime of junk food had left Pippa feeling overweight and unhealthy.
My skin was really bad. I'd put on a lot of weight. I was very tired a lot of the time.
Then a friend introduced her to the raw food diet.
I really got it. I was like, oh my God, I haven't been eating the food that I'm meant to be eating. This is how I'm going to get my health back.
So Pippa changed her diet, eating only fruit, vegetables, nuts and seeds, with swift results.
The weight started to drop off me and my skin started to clear up. I just had this real abundant energy.
Thrilled at the results, Pippa took her elimination diet even further and became a fruitarian, refining her diet even more.
There's this idea of detox on the diet and that you have to become purer in the foods that you eat. There was no meat, no fish, no eggs, no dairy products, no breads, no pastas, no grains, no alcohol, no coffee, no tea, no soft drinks. On a typical fruitarian day, I would eat about 4 or 5 oranges for breakfast, maybe 5 or 6 bananas for lunch with a couple of mangoes, a couple of apples in the afternoon. Snacks, I might have some dates and nuts, and in the evening a salad with some avocado. To start off with, it was great. I felt amazing.
However, it wasn't long before Pippa found she was constantly bloated and tired.
But I just thought that that was detox, because I was told by everybody that everything was detox. If you had diarrhea or something, it was detox. If you were constipated, it was detox.
Pippa started to notice more serious changes.
I started to get dark rings underneath my eyes. My gums were sore, and I started to notice that I was getting cavities. My hair started to fall out in great clumps. My period stopped after about 4 months, I guess, of being on a fruitarian diet. My muscles just kind of disappeared. Something in my body started to waste away.
Even though she believed her symptoms were all part of the detox process, Pippa had concerns and sought medical advice which confirmed her worst fears.
You should always be careful following any diets that seem to rule out a whole food group. Fruit will tend to provide things like carbohydrates, fibre and some vitamins, mainly some vitamin A and also some vitamin C. In Pippa's case, she's missing a whole range of food groups there and also some nutrients, essential fatty acids, protein, iron, calcium, zinc, the list goes on and on. She had problems with her hair, which could have been due to a lack of protein. Her bones would have also weakened because she wasn't including any calcium. She would have been at increased risk of infection. Her immune system would have been quite low. Also suffering from conditions such as osteoporosis, anemia as well, because she wasn't having a rich source of iron.
After 2 years of her obsessive regime, Pippa was shocked at the state of her health. On the advice of her GP, she started following a healthy, balanced diet.
My first meal was like lemon sole, and it was quite amazing, I have to say. I really felt satiated, like my whole body was just tingling. When I look back on what my diet was like, I realised that actually I did do quite a lot of damage to myself, and I'm still recovering. That you don't have to go to such extremes in order to be healthy. You start to listen to your own body, because your own body knows best.
Dominique is 7 weeks into her 12-week program, and in addition to the new diet and supplements she's been prescribed, Dr. Samina has referred her for thalassotherapy. Recent studies have shown it could help her guttate psoriasis. It's believed the iodine, salt and seaweed in the water can revitalise the skin, improve circulation and reduce the localised inflammation.
Coming out of that, my skin feels really soft. I know before, when I've been on holidays in salt water and in the sun, it really does help the psoriasis.
So while there's hope on the horizon for Dominique's skin, she's still finding it a struggle to stay motivated enough to keep up with Dr. Ben's intensive exercise programme.
So I had asked you to try and get in the 5 sessions at the gym a week. And how many do you think you've been doing?
Well, I would say it's probably more like 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4, but I'm also, as well as the gym, I am walking around the park.
Great.
And swimming as well, which obviously counts, but is a different sort of exercise. So
yeah. The main thing is that you get your body through that cardiovascular burn on a regular basis, so just breaking that sweat.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do today, now you've been doing that for a couple of months, is to actually really target some specific areas, tone up.
Yeah, that's a big area for me.
Having more muscle tone also helps the body burn more fat.
Yep. What you want to do is you want to do 60 of those.
60, right.
30 each way.
Okay.
That was hard work. I've woken up this morning and I was really stiff this morning. Obviously, he's worked muscles that haven't been worked in quite some time.
But Ben's not finished with her yet. She's lost a stone so far, but he wants to give her one last motivational kick to try and get even more weight off before her big reveal in less than a month's time.
This is the vest. It weighs 1 stone.
Where do I
It goes through here.
Okay.
Yes.
This fat suit represents the amount of weight Dominique has lost so far.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of weight, isn't it?
To remind her just how much strain her body was under, Ben takes Dominique through her exercise regime
It's an effort to lift my feet up.
at the weight she was 2 months ago.
Is it harder to move?
It is. It's very hard to twist, actually.
And her joints are feeling the strain. For every extra pound of weight, it's 4 pounds more load on the joints.
Imagine it's the extra load on your knees and on your ankles, on your hips, on your spine.
Yeah.
But also, what about your heart?
Yeah, it's beating very fast. Oh, and it's really hard getting back up.
Clearly, Dominique is feeling the strain of the diet doctor's latest stunt. The question is it enough to keep her motivated for her final 4 weeks of the programme? Foods labelled light, low-fat, pure or natural sound like products we should be piling into our shopping trolleys. But how good for us are they really? And how complicated is healthy eating?
I know glucose is a sugar, and an invert sugar doesn't sound good. Yeah, a whole lot of sugar in here, I think, and disguised with nice brown rice and whole grain cereal.
According to many experts and consumer watchdogs, it's often difficult to tell from reading food labels, some of which can be confusing and misleading.
E25, 2.5 or something. Lots of things in there, I don't know what they are.
So what should we look out for on the label?
Have a look at the baked beans first of all. The maximum amount of sugar you should have in your diet every day is, for a woman on a 2,000 calorie diet, about 50 grams. Okay. Now, if we look on here, carbohydrate of which sugars, it's got 5 grams in. We think 5 grams, a bit more than a teaspoon, that's okay.
Pretty reasonable.
But then, look, it's per 100 grams. Now, this is a 415 gram tin. So actually, we're timesing that by 4. So that's got 20 grams of sugar in, 5 teaspoons of sugar in.
That is a lot.
That is a lot, isn't it?
But what about, say, plain kidney beans, say these? So there's 2.2 grams in 100 grams, and it's a 415 gram tin.
Yeah.
So there's much less, but nevertheless not insignificant. But clearly a lot more healthier than those.
Yeah, definitely.
Cream of tomato soup.
Yeah.
I was absolutely staggered. Sugar, 4.9 grams per 100 gram.
Yeah.
Now, again, in a whole tin.
Yeah. Which you'd probably have a tin, would you? Not quite.
20 odd grams of sugar.
Yeah. If you have a tin of this and a tin of baked beans, you're nearly at your maximum guideline for the day. It really can mount up.
And it's not just tinned foods that are confusing. Staggeringly, Walker's Lights crisps have almost the same amount of fat as Sainsbury's Value. They can call themselves light because they have less fat than their fuller fat alternatives. And Weight Watchers digestive biscuits, which sound a healthier option, in fact have more sugar than McVitie's digestives. So how can we shop healthily? Just remember, ingredients lists always start with the biggest ingredient first. Watch out for fat, especially saturated fat. Keep an eye on the salt content and check out the sugar. Look out for the carbohydrates of which sugars figure on the label. The diet doctors recommend that where possible, prepare foods yourself. That way you'll know exactly what you're eating. The healthiest food you can buy probably doesn't come with a label. After the break, while Ben's finally making a breakthrough with Dominique's exercise, is it a case of too little, too late? Pam and Samina give their verdict. After 12 weeks, they finally get to meet the new Dominique. 36-year-old housewife and mother of 2 Dominique first came to the clinic 12 weeks ago. Diagnosed as obese, this binge eater of junk food and sweets was suffering with psoriasis and had low self-esteem. But thanks to the diet doctors, she's cut out the cakes, pizza and sugar and embraced a healthy, balanced diet. With Ben's help, she's also embarked on a full exercise regime of swimming, walking, aerobics and gym work. Before Pam and Samina meet Dominique, they look at some of the visible improvements in her body.
This was Dominique's tongue 3 months ago. Now, if you remember, she was eating lots and lots of sweets at that time, wasn't she?
And I remember the coated tongue here that we very clearly saw.
Now, that is quite a different
impressive.
tongue. Yeah. So that's really cleared this sort of bacterial coating, hasn't it?
Completely. Because as you were saying, the sugary element to her diet was causing the imbalance of the healthy and the unhealthy flora in her gut.
Yeah. Now, do you remember she had this really uncomfortable looking psoriasis on her skin?
I think she was feeling very self-conscious of not being able to go out and probably affecting her self-esteem and her confidence.
Look at the difference there.
That's terrific. That really, really is. I mean, just look, completely gone there.
Also, just even looking at the hands here, much less puffy, aren't they?
Less puffy, more definition of her knuckles, her fingers look slimmer. Look at that compared to that. I've got great hopes that she has done well.
Should we just remind ourselves, this was Dominique 3 months ago.
Looking quite heavy, a lot of fat deposition around here and around her hips.
Well, I can't wait to see her.
Let's bring her in.
Oh, you look amazing!
Wow. I don't recognise you.
Dominique's transformation has been dramatic, but it's not just on the outside that there have been improvements. Dominique's blood tests are back. All her abnormal nutritional deficiencies are now restored to normal.
I have to say, the most impressive thing is your psoriasis.
Yes.
Unbelievable. It's completely gone.
Yes, yeah, from under there. That went really quickly, actually, as well. And it could be everything, the diet, the cream. I don't know, it just went really quickly, that bit.
By sticking to Pam's anti-inflammatory diet and only using some basic medication and thalassotherapy, Dominique's psoriasis has dramatically improved. But this isn't the only noticeable change.
How's your exercise gone? Have you enjoyed that?
I have enjoyed it. I've been practically doing something every day, and I do really enjoy it. But certainly I think I've been kind of up for doing more.
Have you?
Yeah, in terms of going out and enjoying myself, and yeah, I think so.
That's really good.
And looking forward to things. And I think also seeing kind of different parts of my body change shape, that's been really nice.
Her measurements reveal her BMI has dropped from an obese 31.1 to a much healthier 27.5. She's lost an amazing 9 inches, including 2.5 inches around her waist and 2.5 inches from around her hips. Her body fat has dropped by 4% to 36%. 12 weeks ago, Dominique weighed 13 stone. Now she weighs 11 stone 7, a loss of 1 stone 7 pounds. That's around 12% of her total body weight.
And the children, have they noticed?
They're very aware when I'm eating, or if I go to get something, Georgina will quite often say, "Are you allowed to have that?"
But I remember you saying in the beginning that one of the things, because she's getting older and more conscious of herself, that you wanted to sort of be the role model for her.
She looks at me when I'm kind of in my underwear and things, and she will say, you know, "Oh, your tummy's, you know, flatter," and things like that. She's definitely aware of that.
That's really good.
So you said before you wanted to rediscover the old you. Do you feel this has been a kickstart for you in any way?
I do. Yes, I do. And I want to, you know, I don't feel that this is the end. You know, the 12 weeks has kind of come and gone quite quickly, really.
Yes.
And in some ways, you know, quite sad to be finishing this particular bit, but I want to carry on and, you know, kind of lose a little bit more for myself.
In just 12 weeks, Dominique has dropped a dress size from a size 16 to a size 14. But her journey doesn't end here. If she stays on course, she'll easily reach her size 10 target by this time next year.